it's Jorge bringing you a quick exclusive to the movie Bring Her Back. This is one of the Philippou's brothers. I think that's their second major film with H24. They did Talk to Me, which was a complete amazing film. And they are coming back with this one, which is Bring Her Back. So the synopsis of this is a brother and sister uncover a terrifying ritual at the secluded home of their new foster mother. And let me just tell you from the get-go that coming into this movie blind is probably the best thing you can do. Because that's how I came into it, and let me just tell you, it was very enjoyable. Almost instantly, you kind of get that same feeling of Talk to Me, where within, the first 10 minutes of the film, you kind of are sucked in with some of these characters and trying to better understand, like what's going on, but you never feel lost, if that makes sense. One of the things that I will say, they do such an incredible job at taking unforgettable shots. And what I mean by that is, so with this film, there's tons of pros, there's cons to it, like with any film, but some of the cinematography in this film and some of the vivid imagery is just something that sticks with you. It doesn't go away, which for some people they may like, for others they may not. I will say gore in this movie, it's a gory movie, but it's done right, and it's not excessive. There's some like horror movies that just throw blood just to throw blood, or do something just to do it, and this film I feel takes such a different approach to it. I feel that when there is some craziness happening, it's for a reason, and when there is something of shock value, it's for a reason. More than anything, I feel that the actors in this, which predominantly just kind of circle around four different characters, did such a phenomenal job. You have Andy and Kathy, who are basically the brother and sister, and then you have Oliver and Laura. Laura being the foster mom, and Oliver, well, Oliver's just Oliver. I'm gonna leave it at that. And it's quite phenomenal how much they're able to get from such a limited number of cast, and how much they were able to get from all the characters. And the more you're into this movie, like the first act and second act were phenomenal, close to flawless, I would say, in terms of pacing, in terms of getting you curious about what all is happening. I think where this film kind of falls a little flat is you can only crescendo so high before you have to crash down. And I think the third act just felt a little rushed, which is weird to say because the whole movie itself isn't that long. But I think the buildup of it was just so well done. And I almost wish, instead of this movie being like an hour and 40 minutes, this is one of those films that I wish was like a 2-hour long movie, a 2-hour and 15-minute long movie. So they could have explored more into some of the other aspects of the film that almost get overshadowed. I did feel that when you're going through this whole film and you're going through everything that's happening, it's the third act doesn't quite link up with it. The way that things just kind of almost come to a screeching halt, just didn't vibe with me as well. The one thing I will say, which was spectacular, Oliver, some of the scenes that Oliver is in are scenes that will be ingrained in your mind for quite some time. When we went to the screening as a cute little, like, to go gift type of thing, they were giving everyone a little dental floss shaped like a tooth. And when you're going into the movie, you're looking at this like, what is this? And when you see the movie, you 100% understand. And that scene alone was insane. I mean, I've never seen something like that. And the stuff that Oliver had to do, and the sense of how Oliver was portrayed, like, was fascinating, like beyond fascinating. I think I think one of the downfalls of this was it almost felt like the third act had to be concluded within, I'll go with like 10 to 15 minutes. It's almost how it felt. It felt like they were trying to close so many stories and so many pieces to it, when I almost wish that they left it not open, but just extended it a little bit more. I will say though, you can clearly tell the same type of style with this movie and Talk to Me, which I think is really great. It's always nice when you find a director, in this case directors, that are just true to themselves and they don't sugarcoat it. It's like a like it or leave it type of situation, and they were able to successfully accomplish that. This movie by no means is a sleeper, is a like a pass. Like, I still would highly recommend this movie. This is one of those few movies that it's very unique, and I think the parts that for me that really shine are just how much character development we get, just how much like suspense and like psychological, like thriller type of movie, almost like a psychological horror, because there's some scenes in this movie that you literally are holding your breath watching it and experiencing it. And maybe that's the better word. The first two acts of this movie, you feel like you're experiencing everything, and when it comes to the third act, you're just seeing it. And maybe that's probably for me where my kind of full circle, no pun intended, and you'll understand that when you watch the movie, but that's kind of where it kind of clicks for me. I would say the character of Laura is one that should be studied. Like, the amount of depth and uniqueness behind her is out of this world, something I have not experienced or seen in forever. Overall, it's kind of hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a spoiler review on this, because this is one of those movies that just deserves it, because I don't want to take away from what you guys can experience. Overall though, if I had to rate this movie 1 to 10, I will probably give this a solid, I'll probably give it a solid like 7.5 out of 10. 7, probably a 7 out of 10. This was just a very solid film. Imagery was unlike anything I've seen in a while. The story and everything behind it was, you just want to know more. It's almost one of those things where I hope that there is more to this, like almost like a prequel. That would actually be quite amazing. But yeah, no, I would highly recommend this. I cannot stress that enough. This was amazing. Danny and Michael did it again. I thought Talk to Me was going to be something very hard to surpass, and I don't know if I would put this movie over Talk to Me, but in terms of like horror movie and like supernatural horror movies, this one is, it's just done right. Like it was just done so well. But with that, let me know if you guys see this movie. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know where you put this in terms of, you know, like Talk to Me or some of these other like supernatural horror movies. Would love to kind of hear your guys' thoughts on it. But as always, this is Jorge, and we'll see you next time. Peace.